主婦の術で邪悪を払う。一緒に極楽を楽しみましょうね。
Hello people, and welcome back to News Review. For this week, the update is back to being super packed with new content. If you're a new or returning player, I do recommend you check out my new player guide. It'll help you better understand what I'm saying in the video. As always, open up the patch notes, link in the description if you want to follow along. Additionally, I'm trying a new thing where I buy a guild stage for every 10 subscribers I hit, which will give you a diamond if it's your first time clearing it. Thank you so much for 430 subscribers. The next milestone will be at 440 subscribers. So subscribe and also join the guild, code in the description if you want to participate in that. I'll also be announcing when to do that on my Discord server, so hop in there if you want to be updated. Starting off, we have a new independent seal. This seal will have 1 jackpot, 1 sub-jackpot, and 4 small prizes, which is a little different to the classic configuration of 1 jackpot, 1 sub-jackpot, and 5 small prizes. We haven't seen a new independent seal for ages. And there is a reason for it, which segues nicely into the very important update to the game. A collab with a Taiwanese beef noodle shop. Sorry, I meant the upcoming changes to the OC card seals. This new seal and cards will not be a part of the Era of Novelty series, and in fact, the entire series of Era of Novelty is coming to an end as well. The seal or banner, the Era of Novelty Connected, is coming back for what is probably the last time, and will last for a month. Which, if I'm not mistaken, this will just come back with Shakespeare and Renee as the jackpots, which I suppose has proved my point that it is good to wait to choose your all max in a way that I didn't really think about, since this is a reasonably likely way to obtain Renee. In the future, the Voyager's Recollection seal will remain open for the rest of the year and probably longer as well. The cards in there stay completely the same, but, the chance of you getting any particular sub-jackpot becomes really, really rare. They also say that old cards in the Era of Novelty series will also get buffed, but this will likely just be some number tweaking and won't really cause drastic changes to any card's functionality. With that out of the way, it's time to get into the update proper. There'll be a new item collecting mission and associated shop for the new series where you can redeem for stuff like the series Dragonware, as well as a super skill character I'll cover later in the video. First off, we have the Earth Demon Jackpot Lin Daiyu. For her leader skill, she can have Demons, Intoxicating Charms, and Earth members. They all get attack times 10, HP times 3.5, which is quite high for Demons. Additionally, Intoxicating Charms members and Demons attack times 6.5 additionally. And for every 3 runestones dissolved, combo count +1 to the max +10. By dissolving all runestones in the first batch, team attack times 2.5 additionally. Otherwise, damage received -50%. Moving on to her team skill. This is super long, as is apparently the case nowadays. I need 3 slides to cover it all. First off, extend boost movement time regardlessly by 6 seconds. Ignore burning. Leader and ally skill CDs -6 after entering a stage. Dodge the first attack of each enemy. All runestones also possess 200% effect of runestones of the members' attributes in the team. At the beginning of the stage and at the end of each round, talismans will appear at 6 random positions, and most 6 will be present at any given time. The more runestones dissolved in the positions, the more effects will be granted. I need to change the slide here. If you dissolve 1 or more, team attack times 3.5. You dissolve 2 or more, you ignore puzzle shield and fixed combo shield. 3 or more, you get a full heal. 4 or more, elves and demons skill CDs -1 and EPs +1. 5 or more, all members enter a hyper state for 1 round. And 6, you get super damage reduction for that round. Upon the first skill activation of Lin Daiyu in each round, all the above effects will be granted, and the talismans will disappear from the board. Upon each skill activation of an Intoxicating Charms member, skill activation penalty will be nullified. This is the thing where if you activate your skill, like a certain amount of your HP gets deducted. This is just going to get ignored. No positions will be cracked. I think that's back on the other slide. When a character runestone is triggered at the end of the round, explode all runestones to generate enchanted runestones of the corresponding member's attribute and race, similar to JoJo, but like for JoJo, you have to actually dissolve the character runestone. This you just gotta trigger it. By the way, I put some icons on the slides. I don't know if it's actually helpful or like less clear. I just think for some of the more common shields, probably it's better. But let me know down in the comments whether you like it or not, and I'll see whether I do it going forward. She also has additional team skills. When she's in the team, her attack times 1.5 at night. No, this is not a joke. It's literally from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. like in the you know, Hong Kong time zone, GMT plus 8. This card will literally get a 1.5 times attack boost. For some reason, I find that really funny. When Lin Daiyu and Jia Baoyu, which is an unreleased card, are in the team, their stats times 1.5. Additionally, for her bond skills, that card that is unreleased allows her to ignore initial shield, and An Xinlian, the sub-jackpot, allows her to reduce her CD further if you trigger the character runestone and don't dissolve it. For her active, she only has one active, CD6. Stun all enemies for 1 round to inactivate them. All enemies will be parasitized. Deal a non-attributed damage of 30 times the enemy's defense, plus 1 million to each enemy, regardless of defense and enemy skills each round until defeated. Can be superimposed at most 3 times, like all the other parasite status effects. Release lock skills of Intoxicating Charms members, and also clear the Fatigue, Hypnotize, Whimsep, and Paralyzed state. Can be activated regardless of all those, states. Remove Tornado for 1 round, and for 1 round, you ignore Duet, Trio, Quartet, and Quintet Elemental Shield, as well as Number Attack Shield. This is the first ever card to ignore Number Attack Shield, which I typically call Multi-Attack Shields. Which I think has kind of been overhyped. That's not to say the skill is bad, but especially coming off the JoJo collab, there is no shortage of cards that can do an absurd amount of extra attacks. Just within demons, there's obviously Dio, but also the Black Gold Rakshasa. And beyond that, we have absolute powerhouses like Doko, Rinriko, and Nero that can give 60 extra attacks across the whole team. So I don't think it's like absolutely imperative to ignore this sort of skill. Moving on to the subject plot, Pantilian, a water demon. Apparently, this card's lucky number is 69, and no, I'm not making this up. So if you see a lot of related numbers, that is why. For her leader skill, she can have human, elves, and demons in her team. Tam attack times 9, H recovery times 3, extend Ruse movement time regardless by 2.5 seconds. But as living Heart Runestone, team attack times 6.9. Additionally, for every group of Heart Runestone dissolve, combo count plus 2 to the max plus 6, EX combo count plus 3 to the max plus 9. This card has 2 actives. She works off the EP system instead of CD. For the first active, it is EP2. Tap 1 column, explode that column to generate enchanted runestones of the corresponding member's attribute and race. And also for 1 round, the corresponding member's attack will synchronize with that of the leader. This point will become clear why it's like this with her team skill. Also, her second active is baked into the team skill, so if it seems like I'm going out of order, it's not. This is how the game does it as well, or the patch notes rather. For a team skill as a leader, clear the negative state of electrified runestones, frozen runestones, weakened runestones, lock for recovery, weathered, petrified, touch while moving, and turn them into enchanted demon runestones. No position will be weathered. I don't know why they included the weathered in the first point. If you get no weathered in general, you ignore sticky as well. When a sticky position is touched, all members enter a hyper state for 2 rounds. Heart runestones also possess 690% effect of attributed runestones. When a character runestone is triggered, heart runestones can resolve singly or in groups of 2 or more in the first batch. Each time summoner enters the next wave, bewitch all enemies for 2 rounds. They will attack themselves or each other once each round. I think I'm on the wrong slide again. Members except the leader, attack base value will be lowered to 0 and add 3.69 times the deducted attack basic value to the leader's attack basic value, which is why that point interactive says that the member will synchronize their attack with the leader. After dissolving runestones, the leader launches 9 extra non-attributive attacks, as much as 60% of its attack. This card's damage will be dealt regardless of anti-runestone shield. And at the beginning of the stage and at the end of each round, turn the top and bottom runestones in the columns below in each Intoxicating Charms member into Enchanted Heart Demon runestones, similar to stuff like Gintoki, which makes me think that this might be a pseudo speedrun leader, although I don't see anything like, you know, insane about it apart from the speedrun aspect, because you save on the attack animation time because your leader is the only one attacking. Uh, Apart from the speedrun aspect, I don't think this is a very strong leader. She also has an additional team skill when in a team of only humans, elves, and demons, where she gives extra stats to each, where humans get HP plus 3,000, demons get attack plus 1,500, and elves all get recovery plus 1,500. When she is just in a team in general, she gets her second active, which only exists after you activate her first active. This is randomly chosen out of 3 options. The first being Insatiable Thirst, explode the board, generate fixed columns. So basically, just corresponding to the member's attribute. This is going to come up a lot, I think, in today's news. I just say fixed columns. Hopefully, you know what I'm talking about. Auto Dissolving Runestones, Skydrop 69 Enchanted Heart Demon Runestones, and damage received from scorching areas will be converted to HP recovery. For the second possible active, a compulsive thirst, other members enter a fatigue state for 1 round. For 1 round, damage will be lowered to 69. I don't know why the fatigue state is there, because if she is a leader, I guess, I guess it's when she is not a leader. But this makes this skill actually really bad, because if she is not a leader, then like she doesn't really give attack to herself. So even though you do the super damage reduction, you're not killing anybody, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. And thirdly, we have Raging Thirst combo and each combo count plus 69. The leaders regardless of equal combo shield, and only the first batch of runestones can be dissolved. So no sky drop. I don't really like this design because you're liable to get screwed over by RNG. This reminds me way back in the day where people would pay for the 70% dodge chance of Ursula from the Disney Villains collab, which was a real thing. TOS collab with Disney. You can look it up if you want. But more importantly, shows how bad this kind of design is in the modern day, because all 3 of these skills are so different. You could be, let's say, looking for like scorching areas. That's like the most reasonable thing. You could activate like the first skill a lot of times, and because there are 3 skills, it's not really that unlikely that you'll not get like one of the skills. And even if you do, you waste a lot of EP, which is like, why would you do this kind of design? This is why I think like I dock a lot of points for this card in my like final ranking for that kind of feature. But for her bond skills, she gets 9 extra attacks, as much as 6% of her attack, by dissolving the character's character runestone in the first batch for one of them. And for the other one, she gives EP plus 1 to herself if you don't dissolve the character's character runestone, which is kind of funny, actually, because you can't activate both of these at the same time. Once again, the one of the cards has been unreleased. That's that. Moving on to the small prizes, which are absurdly strong for their price, but I'm not complaining. Starting off with the Dark Demon. What is this card called again? This is Shang Guan Wan, a CD6 for around by dissolving 1 or more groups of 3 runestones. Team attack and recovery times 1.5. By dissolving 1 or more groups of 4 runestones, delay the CD of all enemies for 1 round. By dissolving a group of by dissolving 1 or more groups of 5 runestones, elves and demons ignore initial shield. And by dissolving 1 or more groups of 6 runestones, elves and demons ignore combo seal and runestone combo nullifying. When all the above conditions are all fulfilled, the character's skill CD -5. While this isn't the first card to ignore combo seal and runestone combo nullifying in either the dark or the demon department, cards of this kind are good to have around. Although the enemy skill doesn't appear that often, ignoring can help make stages way easier, and I don't think this condition is that hard. Obviously, you can't, like, it's not really easy, but if the enemy doesn't have anything that, like, really negatively affects your board, I think you can probably do this with your average board. And then, your skill CD's right back again. It can be activated, like, the next round. So I think this is quite good. It's technically like a stat booster as well if you can just keep it going. All right. Next up we have a fire beast. Wait, what do you mean? This card is a fire elf. It's literally a cat girl with a cat. Questionable card designs aside, this is a fire elf card. If you made the same mistake as me upon first glance, uh, CD6, Chen Yuan Yuan. Upon the skill activation and at the end of each round, bells will appear at 6 random positions, so the max 6 bells to be present. So if you're playing this card in the jackpots team, your boy will end up with like an amalgamation of garbage because you have 12 positions of like just random stuff, which might be a consideration to think about, to be honest. For each runestone dissolved at a bell position, common count +1 to the max +6. Uh, herself, kitten +1. This is her own mechanic. I'll say more about that later. The bell at that position will disappear, by dissolving runestones at 6 bell positions, elves and demons skill cities -1, which is one of the strongest points of this card, to be honest. This skill can be deactivated anytime upon deactivation of the skill by tapping a runestone on the magic circle of elements. For every kitten the character has, turn 1 random runestone into the tapped type, so the max 30 runestones to be converted. The current skill city is -2, and reset the number of kittens that each Chen Yuan has. So the potential, as I said, for the rapid reduction of CD is crazy. You can essentially, one round becomes 2 with this kind of thing, which is always good. Uh, for her team skill, basically, if there are only intoxicating charm numbers or elves, and she's in the team, she just gains the kitten mechanic, and also she reduces her skill CD by 6 upon entry, meaning that you can just activate this active right out the gate. Next is the light demon. It's actually light elf. CD1, tap one column, explode that column to generate weathered heart moonstones. The leader is a intoxicating charm number. Remove the column instead. You wouldn't use this card even in intoxicating charms teams, unless you're doing the speed run, the sub jackpot speed run, because she does ignore weathered, and that does seem to where this card like actually shines, but it kind of sucks. For a team skill, upon each skill activation of an intoxicating charmed member, the first Jalfian from the left attack basic amount +1000, so the max +10,000. I suppose, like, yeah, if you activate this card's skill 10 times, she does get somewhere. But this is not good card design, because any card that takes 10 rounds to obtain like a good amount of attack just isn't good. This card is the worst card in this series by far. Lastly, we have the Earth Elf, uh, Lady Mengjiang. CD5, deal a damage of each attribute of 5.2 million to all enemies, regardless of defense and enchanted runestone shield. This does solve quitted attacks. For 1 round, according to the first enemy from the left upon skill activation, all runestones also possess 150% effect of heart and runestones of the attributes of that character and the enemy. It means earth and the enemy's attribute. I don't know why they worded it in such a confusing way. Upon skill activation and the enemy's round, turn all runestones, all rune santes, into elf heart runestones and runestones of that enemy's attribute and race of fixed numbers and fixed positions. So you get a fixed board of heart and the enemy's attribute, but all runestones have the effect of heart, earth, and the enemy. Okay, very confusing. Also, classic typo of rune santes. I think they have that typo like in many places, which is just, kind of funny because they spell it immediately correctly after that. Moving right along, that is the last card in the seal. The series also has its own exclusive Dragonware. The skills aren't really that good. You get 1.8 times attack twice if you dissolve a group of 6 or more runestones and activate the character's active respectively. You also get 1 second of movement time, which is fine, but probably par for the course nowadays. Next up is the new super skill character, Semele, a light god. For active at CD6, explode the board plus frozen and petrified along with it. Generate enchanted runestones of the characters and members' attributes and races of fixed numbers and fixed positions. Or remember by dissolving all runestones in the first batch. At the end of the round, turn each column into enchanted runestones of the corresponding member's attribute and race. She also gets her own team skill when both the leader and ally are the same gods with Semele in the team. She synchronizes her attribute with that of the leader and skill CDs -6 after entering a stage, once again meaning that she can activate her skill right out the gate. She also has 2 bond skills with Oria and Nesoi, probably lore related. Both of them are not good, it's just plus combo count, not important. Next up, the main story is finally getting another edition. The Era of Novelty first seal, that's what they're calling it. This is going to be ultra confusing. Uh, the price of pride and going up the Enochian Tower 1. Summoners who clear the specific stages in going up the Enochian Tower 1 chapter will be rewarded with the next card here, which is Daring Future Shroy. This is a summoner character, meaning that this will not go in your normal inventory. This is going in your summoner inventory, like Enoch and the previous Shroy. In his base form, he is a light human, and some of the wording in his skills allude to the fact that he can probably change attributes with different forms in the future, but I'll get into that. As a leader, team attack times 11, HP and hurry times 3, no limitations whatsoever. 6 or more star members, HP attack and recovery times 2 additionally. All runestones have the effect of all runestones. Extend boost movement time regardlessly by 5 seconds by dissolving runestones of the attribute of Shroy. This is where I, think that he's going to change his attribute. Team attack times 3 additionally. The more runestones are dissolved, the higher the team attack increases additionally to the max times 10 for 30 runestones dissolved by dissolving all runestones in the column below the character. Other members' skill CDs -1, which is curious, not him. Just purely from the leader skill, this card is probably like the most busted free leader we've seen in a while. Step aside Ashley. This is the real starter leader, honestly. For his team skill, it keeps getting better and better. If the team is equipped with a Chronon card, the Chronon meter will be fully charged at the beginning of the stage. The craft apparatus, which I like to call the Draconic, will also be fully charged after entering the stage. Extend reduce the movement time regardless of 5 seconds. And yeah, so you get 10 seconds? Yeah, you get 10 seconds just by putting him as a leader. This is insane. Members of the same attribute as Daring Future Shroy skill CDs become 0 after entering a stage. Once again, the same attribute thing makes me think that he's going to change the attribute in the future. Other members' skill CDs -3 after entering a stage. Ignore sticky and burning, and damage will be that will loss of fixed combo shield. When a character runestone is triggered after dissolving runestones, generate 5 enchanted runestones of the corresponding attribute in each column. So, like Azeroth style, if you are familiar with that. Dissolving 30 or more runestones, Shroy skill CD -1. And if Shroy is in the warfare mode, which I will talk about in a bit, you get a willpower effect and after runestone combo count +11. This is nuts. Like the leader skill and the team skill combined, this kind of skill surpasses probably even like most sub jackpots normally. This is just a great card. And I think this is what summoners should be. They should be pretty overpowered in order, to encourage you to actually use them and not sit in your inventory like the previous two. Well, I mean, Enoch is not really a leader. Also, as a member, it's used very rarely. The previous Shroy was an absolute tragedy. It's definitely not a leader, and the active is not really that useful. Moving on to the other team skill he has as a member, the warfare mode, when he is sorry, he will enter warfare mode. I'm putting the cart before the horse. The active skills of you can enter warfare mode by activating the active skills of other members for 5 times cumulatively, or by equipping him with the Chronon meter. When he is in the warfare mode at the end of each round, Shroy enters or stays in a hyper state for 1 round, and his active skill will not be locked. This state will end and the count will reset upon defeat, as usual with all the states of every single card. Moving on to his actives, he has two actives. The first one is CD5. You can choose 3 runestones on the magic critical elements. For the first one, you remove runestones of the first one to generate runestones of the second type, and then for 1 round, you launch 5 extra attacks of the attribute of the third type, as much as 50% of its attack, and the character's attack damage with dark loss of defense. For his second active, it is CD6. Explode the board to generate a fixed board of all types and the character's attribute, which I don't know. This is probably an uneven board, as in it'll have more of his attribute if they word it like that. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. For round, all runestones can be resolved by aligning 2 or more of them in the first batch, and combo count plus 11. This is insane. This is a really good card. You cannot farm him. This is just a summoner card. It feels very refreshing to have a summoner card actually be good. Next, we have even more Chronon cards getting added. Once again, 3 more. First off, Gaze Through the Waters, which I believe is the middle one with Enoch's sister. I forget what her name is. Honestly, at this point, it's been a while. This is a 1-star card. It's not that good. Next up is Aspirated Tune, which I believe is the one on the left with Huasi. This is a 2-star card. The round effect is quite good. The character damage will be that dark loss of Runestone Calm Nullifying, and also equal Calmo Shield. And then the one on the right with Feiyin, that's right. This is a 2-star card. It's also fine because you ignore Puzzle Shield and Explosive Bomb, so the 2-star cards are actually not that bad this time around. Might be worth investing into them if you have the resources. Obviously, the 3-star ones are still better, but historically, the 1 and 2 stars have just sucked. And finally, they're getting some kind of use. After that, we have a new Battle Pass card, a Dark Beast Suzuko. For active is CD7. Turn runestones of the member's attributes into Enchanted Beast runestones. For 1 round for each runestone converted. The character's attack basic value is plus 300 to the max plus 9,000. For every 1,000 of the character's attack basic value, the character launches 1 extra attack of an attribute as much as 10% of its attack, so the max 30 extra attacks. And also the 5 attribute run as a cycle, so you can solve quintet attack shields with this card. And also the character's damage will be dealt regardless of puzzle shield. For her team skill, she also gets a special team skill. When there are only beasts in the team and Suzuko is in the team, the more attributes there are in the team, the higher the beast attack basic value increases additionally to the max plus 1,500 for all 5 attributes, presumably. This is good. This gives you like around 1.5 times just inbuilt. So just a good card to bring along for, an attack boost that can't be cleared in any sort of way. Following the previous trend of Dragonwares, there will also be a new Dark Demon exclusive Dragonware made from the Evoking Coin Shop Rakshasa. I'm skipping over the Battle Pass Dragonware, by the way. This is a Dark Demon exclusive, as I said. Charge is launching attacks, vary in character for Rakshasa. Extend movement time by 1 second. Active skill CD -2 after entering a stage, and by dissolving group of 5 more Dark Runestones, the character's attack times 1.8 additionally. For the craft skills, it's nothing special because you're never equipping this on a leader, probably. It's just not good. Okay, lastly, we have a new bi-weekly card. Wang Ying, a water human. CD5 for its active upon skill activation at the end of each round. At the end of the round, sorry. This is a 1-round effect. Turn the 3 columns on the left into Enchanted Water and Enchanted Heart of fixed numbers and fixed positions. The leader's attack times 3 and ignores fixed combo shield. As always, there will also be a new monthly challenge in March. I'll once again probably be putting out my own clear close to the middle of the month due to the sheer amount of other content in game at the same time. For a ranking of the new seal cards, I think that the jackpot is well worth 175 diamonds if you don't have Napoleon, since it is quite strong as a leader. If you do have Napoleon, it's still a pretty good member, but it becomes a harder sell. For the sub jackpot, I don't really see it being as outstanding, like as a leader. Uh, and the inconsistency in its active makes me take it down half a tier from the 50 diamond tier. The fire and dark small prizes are absolutely amazing for being small prizes. The earth one is just average, and the light one sucks. Overall, I'd say that it's worth pulling just a little on this seal, just for the good small prizes, and you can celebrate if you happen to get a jackpot on the way. I think the dark one and the fire one are definitely must gets. You'll probably end up getting the earth one on the way, but if you don't, like, not the worst thing in the world. From a ranking of the free cards, Semele is just okay, since the Light God Shroy in the Evoking Coin Shop also has a fixed board skill. Shroy is god tier, and this is honestly what I think summoner cards should be. They made the last two so underpowered. You can't actually farm him, but he is god tier. The Battle Pass Suzuko is good, being the first ever Dark Beast to launch quintet attacks, and being a generally okay member. Originally, I was going to put Wang Ying in the trash tier, but a quick search actually led me to find out that he is the fourth ever water human to ignore fixed combo shield. I would have thought there were a lot more. And the first ever non-collab card to do so, which is wild. I guess that's just because the first three are like really good and prevalent, being Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, Neo from Monster Strike, and the third one, admittedly, it's like less good, but it's Sailor Neptune from Sailor Moon. But even the first two, I'm like, that's the reason why I haven't seen anybody else, because they are just that good. But if you don't have any of those cards, consider training this card up. Moving on to the celebration events, the returning ultimate cards this week. We have two of them again. We have Xaviera, the Water Elf. This is an excellent card for nullifying enemies' self-destruct damage. I think they call it explosive bombs, but it's not the one on the board. If you have Hoffe, extra reason to get this card for the team skill, the stat boosting team skill. And we also have Philip, which is an Earth Dragon that I have used maybe like once. So you're good to get him and then, leave the stage. They're also doing the Baronaut Brothers bi-weekly stages. I don't know why they're doing this, because one of the cards is actually in Tower of Passion. So I have no clue why they're deciding to do this at this time. Anyway, that's it for this week's news review. That was pretty long. Leave a like if you liked it, comment below if you're getting this anime, and subscribe if you like it in general. It really helps the channel out, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!